Hello, good morning. I'm Spike, and welcome back to another self-taught Japanese in Rosetta Stone 3. Um, so yesterday, I went through the vocabulary section, which was kind of a little bit of a rehash of the pronunciation section of this module. Um, as a builder to get into this particular module's materials. Now, obviously, there are only supposed to be 5-minute slides or so. They don't take that long. There's only like 10 to 12 or 13 of them. Now, grammar extends and complicates matters a little bit, delves a little bit deeper into the next section of how it wants to process the material to you. So I'm expecting today to be a little bit more challenging, probably a few more mistakes on my part. But we will see. I think my brain is a little bit more in check after last night's D&D session, out in town with the boys and the ladies. So hopefully today I won't be making too many head for like head running in headstrong, as it were, where my brain's just deciding to go, no, it's this answer, and I get it incorrect. So hopefully there'll be a few less mistakes. I'll be able to think about it a little bit. But I'm also expecting there to be potentially some new material that hasn't been covered in the previous slides, because one thing I also noticed in this section for stuff as you start to get closer to the milestone in this program, it starts chucking some newer things at you in prep for moving into the next unit. So going to look out for that. And then obviously also look out for any potential bugs or errors in the program where the typed material on screen may or may not match up with the audio in the program, as well as also being conscious that sometimes I will need to anglicize my pronunciation if it's asking me to repeat any audio tracking for pronunciation purposes. Because as witnessed yesterday, there are a couple of points where even though I was repeating what was being said, obviously the program's not picking it up quite as correctly as what I am, and it actually wants a more or a less nuanced and subtle inflection of cadence in how I'm pronouncing the Japanese. It wants the actual, as if a Western English speaker is actually saying the Japanese. So it will get into being or sounding a little bit touristy for those points, but I won't know until I come across it. So let's begin today. As usual, we've got the usual character sheet, reference sheets for the Japanese. Here we go on alphabet. Numbers and tenses, as per usual. And of course, our days of the week, seasons, and a couple of little tasty bits here and there that have been useful throughout the material that Rosetta Stone's chucked at us. So hopefully this session will go a little bit smoother. So without further ado, let's crack on with the grammar section of Module 4 in Unit 3. Ichi the san yon go. Make sure they're working, get the sheets going. Let's see what we have in store. How many slides have we got today? Just 10 in this section.
女の人は女の子を起こします。
Okay, so here we have the older lady and the younger girl, and she is waking her up.
男の子は起きます。
Otokonoko wa okimasu. The little boy is waking up.
女の人は起きます。
Onna no hito wa okimasu.
男の人は友達を起こします。
Okay, so this is just getting us to follow and take note of how the adjective or verb is changing in these sentences, it would seem. So, otoko no hito wa tomodachi o okoshimasu. So here we can see the difference where in singular form, obviously, the boy is waking up, the girl is waking up, and then the man is waking up the boy, and the same for the bottom. The lady is waking up the girl, And there's a slight change, like we would experience in English, how the tense changes the verb, or the adjective, sorry. Okay, so that's what we can expect with grammar and these two sets of slides, so let's crack on.
女の子はます。
起きます。
女の子は起きます。
Uh-huh.
ご主人は奥さんを。
起こします。
ご主人は奥さんを起こします。男の人は
起きます。Okay.
男の人は起きます。
男の人は男の子を
起こします。
男の人は男の子を起こします。
Okay. Not terribly difficult so far. That could change in the next few slides.
女の人は女の子を起こします。
Okay, so we've already had that, so we know which one it is.
女の人は髪を溶かしています。
She's brushing her hair, right? There we go.
女の子は顔を洗っています。
Washing a face, because kao is face, and arate is to wash.
彼はズボンを洗っています。
Just like them, he is washing his trousers, his pants.
男の人は歯を磨いています。
And that's, the man is brushing his teeth. His ha is teeth, or migaite. Migaitemasu. Relatively easy. So, kare wa zubon o aratemasu. Onna no hito wa kami o tokashitemasu. Onna no ko wa kao o aratemasu. Otoko no hito wa ha o migaitemasu. Onna no hito wa onna no ko o okoshimasu. Fabulous. Let's go to slide 4.
彼女はセーター。
O arattemasu.
彼女はセーターを洗っています。彼は歯を磨いています。
僕は手を洗っています。
お母さんは娘さん。お母さんは娘さんを起こしています。
女の子たちは髪を溶かしています。
You get 5 chances to hammer home the same answer. So if you've been paying attention to the grammar, the pronunciation, and what's being used up to this point, you would know that the natural, again, I'm going by the patternistic nature of the sentences to remind myself, oh, it should be this, because that's what sounds right. But with how the Japanese conjugation works in these instances, it becomes quite easy with how the cadence and the rise and fall actually sets which word is supposed to be used in the grammatical sense here to join the action with the person and the object. But yeah, I always find these pictorial slides be a little bit useless, as well as being one of the most important ones there, because functionally you're doing the same thing over and over again. Useless. However, in hindsight, you would think, right, okay, so I'm getting 5 chances to hammer this home. Let's go to slide 5, halfway through. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we're looking for the street that is wet.
通りは濡れています。
Easy. So here we have the shirts are dry, clean.
シャツは乾いています。
Yeah. Then we got the horses that are wet. 馬は濡れています。
馬は濡れています。
And then the horses that are dry. So 馬は乾いています。
馬は乾いています。
Not massively challenging, but let's move to slide 6.
犬はいます。
He's wet. 濡れています。
犬は濡れています。
The dog is wet.
猫は
The cat is dry.
猫は乾いています。
彼女の髪はいます。
Does she look wet or dry? I wonder. 濡れています。
彼女の髪は濡れています。彼女の髪は
So she must be the
いま
opposite.
す。
乾いています。
彼女の髪は乾いています。
Fabulous. That was relatively easy. Let's go slide 7.
お父さんはどこですか？
Ah. お父さんはどこですか？
どうして犬は臭いですか？
Mm-hmm.
どうして手を洗っていますか？
So all three of them are asking questions. So first, どうして犬は臭いですか? Is the dog dirty? Yeah, I think is the dog dirty. どうして手を洗っていますか? Are you washing your hands? Or why are you washing your hands? And then お父さんはどこですか? Brother, what are you doing? Or what are you up to? Let's go slide 8.
セーターを着ていますか？
どうしてセーター
どう
を着
してて
いますか?
セーターを着ていますか？
お
Lovely.
母さんはですか？
どこですか?
お母さんはどこですか？
Mm-hmm.
シーツはいい匂いですか？
Do these sheets need cleaning?
どうしてシーツはいい匂いですか？
Aye. So why are you wearing the sweater? Older sister, what are you up to? Or what are you doing? And do these sheets need cleaning? Or why are we cleaning these sheets? Slide 9.
どうして手を洗っていますか？
Ooh. It's about the hands. She's washing her
どう
hands.
してお父さんは台所にいますか？
Why is our dad in the
どう
kitchen?
して水を飲んでいますか？
Why are you drinking water?
喉が渇いていますから水を飲んでいます。
Because I am dry, I am drinking water.
汚れていますから洗っています。
I'm washing them because they are dirty.
料理していますから台所にいます。
He is cooking in the kitchen. He's in the kitchen because he's cooking. Sorry, I've got to remember the Japanese contextually. Imagine Yoda. He speaks the sentence backwards while explaining forwards. If that makes sense. So again, immerse is there is, there are, they are. And as you can see, ryoshite is to cook, and he's in the kitchen. So cooking there is, in the kitchen there is. So you'd say contextually, he's in the kitchen because he's cooking. From the question, why is our dad in the kitchen? どうしてお父さんは台所にいますか? Just to give a quick contextual explanation as to the formality of how to interpret reading the Japanese, while it's also understanding the contextual implications of what the order that comes out, because it is a little bit backwards in comparison to Western English. But once you understand primarily that is the function of how the language works, it's actually quite easy to decode and start to understand and learn casually at your own pace. So it's all about learning to notice the patterns anyway. Let's go to slide 10, the last one in this section.
手を洗っていま
どうして手
どう
を洗って
して
いますか?
手を洗っていますか？
汚れています。
洗っています。
汚れていますから洗っています。
どうしてセーターを着ていますか？
寒いです。寒いですからセーターを着ています。
この人たちは台所にいますか？どうしてこの人たちは台所にいますか？お皿を洗っています。お皿を洗っていますから。
So lovely. Oh, fantastic. And there's our 100% score. We love it. We love it. Fantastic. What a great start. So here we have, why are you washing your hands? Doshite te arate masu ka? And yorete masu kara arate masu, because they are dirty. Doshite seta kite masu ka? So why do you wear your sweater? Or why are you wearing your sweater? Samui desu kara seta kite masu. I wear my sweater because it's cold. Doshite konoshitachi. That's going to be hard for me to say. Doshite konoshitachi wa daidokoro ni imasu ka? So what do we have? Why are the parents in the kitchen? Osada or arate maskara, to wash the plates. So, with that section out of the way, again, we've done the lesson 4 grammar. Let's just head straight into the lesson 3 repeat from the previous module section. So this one should be a little bit easier. Yep, we've got less slides.
男の人は中国語を読んでいます。
And now we're back to the spotting the language differences. So, otoko no hito wa chugoku go o yonde imasu. We're still learning about the grammar because obviously we're looking at the placement of how we join from the person, the language or the descriptor to what they are doing, yonde imasu. And we are looking for the man who is reading Chinese. And it's in third person, so we can ignore the little white triangle, which would promote boku or watashi in his instance. It's got to be the guy in the bottom left corner.
私は日本語を読んでいます。
Look who happens to be next. Watashi wa nihongo o yonde imasu. I am reading Japanese. Nihongo, Japan, Japanese. It's got to be our guy in the top
彼
right.
はアラビア語を話しています。
So, kare wa arabiago. He is Arabic. O hanashite imasu. He's or speaks there is essentially what so there's the context from that. Kare wa arabiago o hanashite imasu. He is speaking Arabic. There we go. As I go down the
女
bottom.
の子は日本語を書いています。
And again, here we have Onanoko. It's a little girl. Wa nihongo. So talking about Japan and Japanese here. Or kaitemasu. And she is writing. So she is writing Japanese. The little girl is writing Japanese. Onanoko wa nihongo o kaitemasu. There we go. Let's go slide 2. Let's see what we got on slide 2.
男の子はアラビア語。
O
かい
kaitemasu.
男の子はアラビア語を書いて
The
い
boy
ま
is
す。
writing in Arabic.
女の人は英語。読ん
Or
でいます
yondeimasu. The lady is reading English. Eigo is English in Japanese.
女の人は英語を読んでいます。
男の子は日本語
Look, we have the
話しています
Japanese, country and flag right there. So,
男の子は日本語を話しています。
the boy
彼
is
は
speaking
日本
Japanese.
語書いています。
彼は日本語を書いています。He is writing Japanese.
彼は日本語を書いています。
Fabulous. Slide 3. Here we go. And we've got the flags of their origin to help us. So slide 1 is obviously we're looking for Nihon or Nihongo. So kono onnanoko wa Nihon no shushin desu.
この女の子は日本の出
Girl is
身です。
from Japan. Then we've got the guy from Australia. Well, that's going to be Australia. So, この男の人は Australia の出身です。
この男の人はオーストラリアの出身です。
And then last but not least, we're looking for Chugokugo because it's Chinese. So we are looking for この女の人は中国語の出身です。彼女は中国語を話します。So that would be this. The lady is from China. She, 彼女は中国語を話します。She speaks Chinese.
この女の人は中国の出身です。彼女は中国語を話します。
Fantastic. Let's go slide 4. See, it's easy to break down Japanese once you
こ
figure
の
out the
女の
patterns.
人はロシア
Oh.
出身。
Oh no, it's no. I made my first mistake of the day. Wow, wouldn't you
この
believe it?
女の人はロシア。
No shushin desu.
この女の人
My
は
bad.
ロシアの出身です。
この男の人はオーストラリア。
No shushin desu.
この男の人はオーストラリアの出身です。彼は英語を話します。
Because
これは
Australians speak
中
English.
国。動物。
No dobutsu
これは
desu.
中国の動物です。でも中国語を話しません。
So this was a little bit different because it's talking about an animal. So これは中国語のdobutsu desu. Dobutsu desu is this animal, right? So this animal is Chinese. Demo, however, 中国語を話しません. However, does not speak Chinese. Because hanashimasu is to speak in positive light. Hanashimasen turns into the negative. So it becomes our don't, isn't, etc. So to speak, to not speak. Hanashimasen, to not speak. So to not speak Chinese, and therefore demo or however, or etc. So yeah, this animal is Chinese but does not speak Chinese. Voila. Slide 5.
20個のカップ。
Oh, it's got to be 20 cups.
10本のベルト。
That's got to be 10 belts.
35個のボール。
Is that 35 bowls? It's got to be 35 bowls.
23枚のお皿。
Because that would be the plates. Odd skips in number. But again, it's just showing you how the numbers do change depending on which number you are dealing with, whether it's in the tens or whether it's in the singles. And then also the contextual change depending on whether you're talking about a thing, an object or not. So it does change slightly when talking about people. Let's go to slide 6.
50のネクタイ。
Coupon.
50本のネクタイ。
22
Ko.
の
Kapu.
22個のカップ。
40のお皿。
Non-ju hon? No, non-ju mai.
40枚のお皿。
36
No.
No.
No boru.
30
My second mistake. It's interesting that the mistakes have come in the
50
easier repetition
のネクタイ。
slides.
50
Not the
本の
harder
ネクタ
original
イ。
stuff.
22 の
No kapu.
22個のカップ。
40
mai.
No.
No osara.
40枚のお皿。
36
Rocco.
の
No boru.
36個のボール。
Yeah, very interesting that my mistakes are coming in the simpler grammatical slides. But again, like I mentioned in the previous couple of videos, I do struggle a little bit more with regards to the numbers because I don't practice my numbers often enough. And clearly it shows. But again, I'm not too far off where it's comfortable to be at this stage with regards to the casual learning process, because it is still there and I recognize the mistakes that I'm making. And again, it's not like I'm going through 2, 3, 4, exhausting the options before finally landing on the one. So again, progress is still being made, and that's the important thing. Learning from the mistakes that are being made, but also learning from them. Again, I wouldn't say I have the most efficient method in teaching myself this language, but in showing you what method I do use, you can see that it is effective, and despite the repetitive nature of it, it does very quickly stamp out mistakes and keep you able to learn and progress and retain the information. And even if you do make a mistake, you can identify it very quickly and then rectify it. So it's a little bit, I don't want to say self-fulfilling because that would be the wrong terminology, but you can see that it works in being able to be self-critical of itself and its own process.
何歳ですか？
お客さんが何人いますか？
30人います。
30人います。It's the 30 here.
24枚持っています。
Oh, 24持っています。20, that's 24.
お皿を何枚持っ
We're
ていま
asking
す
about
か？
the plates that I've just given the number to. So
私は45歳
yeah,
で
and
す。
I have 45. So how many people? I have 45. お客さんが何人いますか? How many people do we have? Got 30 down. How many plates do we have? We have 24. Last slide of the day. Last slide of the video.
何歳ですか？
私は35です。 私は35歳です。お客さんがいます。お客さんが何人いますか？
30います。 30人います。ボールを持っていますか？ボールを何個持っていますか？
45 45個持っています。
Which now makes this mistake here feel very, very ridiculous, right? So you can now see the patterns that I mentioned, where you can see in the answers
何歳ですか？
the question
私は
informs the response.
35です。
So we have 何歳ですか？私は35歳です。
私は35歳です。お客さんが
何人いますか？
お客さんが何人いますか？
30人います。
30人います。ボールを持っています。ボールを何個持っていますか？
45持っています。45個持っています。
And that means that 100% for the repetitive module from lesson 3 in section 4, in module 4 of unit 3. And there we have it. That's the 2 grammar sections done for the day. So tomorrow we'll be reading. I'm sure that will go well because I think my reading's a little bit stronger than, again, my pronunciation and my speaking, and particularly when it comes to specific number sentences. But not bad progress for the day. I think that was a pretty fun stream today for teaching myself that particular section of Japanese from Rosetta Stone. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I hope that's been entertaining. I hope you've learned something. And again, as the series evolves and continues and we get further and further along, I'm sure we'll end up learning some more Japanese at a more consistent pace, and things ramp up and get a little bit more involved, a little bit more interesting. And hopefully I won't be making as many mistakes that are a little bit silly that I'm aware I am making, with silly errors like I have been making that I should probably know better by now. But that's part of the learning process. Right, so tomorrow will be the reading exercise modules 1 and the repetition from this section here 2 for tomorrow. Again, about the same length as today's videos, although that does depend on the slides that it presents tomorrow. I assume that it will be more than the 8 or 10 that we've had today in each of these particular modules, so I'd expect it to be a little bit longer. Again, particularly if there are any bugs that might come out, or errors in the program, or just, again, the content's going to be a little bit thicker, and probably be testing me just a little bit more. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys are tomorrow. Shameless plug, as always, like, follow, share, and subscribe to anyone who might enjoy this material, want to learn Japanese at their own pace, and need some free materials or a little bit of guidance and a little bit of, get up and go with someone who's also teaching themselves this language from scratch. with very limited prior knowledge of the language itself. I don't think I'm doing too bad. Again, if you want to share your thoughts on that, get in the comments in the video below. Failing that, you can catch me on twitch.tv/xofficina or youtube.com/xofficina, wherever you go to find your content. Both of my pages link to each other, so you can find me on one if you find me on the other. And if you want to get in touch, like I say, get into the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Constructive criticism, advice, tips, tricks, feedback, you name it, suggestions. It'd be fantastic to hear from the community. Failing that, you can always join the Discord and DM me over on there, let yourself be known. And also remember, this is other content channel as well, and have variety on here, hopefully. In that I do stream the odd game or two. So if you want to suggest any games to play, or wish to play games with me that I play, that you might also play, again, get into the Discord, drop in a message below. That's all for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to continue this journey on me documenting my progress of learning Japanese myself, and hopefully putting out some entertaining enough content that you can learn Japanese too. So with that, I will sign off. Hope to see you here tomorrow. And with that, take it easy, stay safe, keep sane, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.